everyone, welcome back to our today's session. Myself Saloni Pandey and I welcome you all to our today's class. So, my dear students, I hope so I am audible and visible to all of you. And as you can see that today we are going to start with the weekly current affairs of your May 2025. So, last week's current affairs that we will be discussing in our today's class. And I hope so that you all are well prepared. So, without wasting any of your time, let's start with our question number one and the first news. So, what is India's total fertility rate as per the sample registration system report for 2021? So, 1.8, 2.0, 2.1, or 2.5 percentage. And the correct answer is your option B, that is 2.0 percentage. So, according to sample registration system 2021 report, India's total fertility rate remains stable at 2.0, the same as in 2020. So, the TFR refers to the average number of children a woman would have in her lifetime, and TFR of 2.1 is considered the replacement level which ensures population stability. So India's TFR being below replacement level indicates a potential future decline in population growth, aligning with the trend of demographic transition in many developing economies. Now, this SRS 2021 report highlights Bihar as the state with the highest TFR at 3.0, significantly above the national average of 2.0. So this reflects higher birth rates and lesser uptake of family planning in the state, likely influenced by lower female literacy, early marriages, and rural demographic patterns. So in contrast, many southern and western states have achieved or gone below the replacement level fertility, but Bihar tops the uh, list, we can say. Okay, so this was related with TFR or sample registration system. Another is which two states have been allocated the largest share of water under the Tapti Basin Mega Recharge Project. So the Tapti Basin Mega Recharge Project, under this project, which two states have been allocated the largest share of water? So Gujarat and Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh, or Maharashtra and Rajasthan. And the correct answer is your option C, that is Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. These two states have been allocated the largest share of water under your TPMRP, that is Tapti Basin Mega Research Recharge Project. So, as per the MOU which has been signed in May 2025, the Tapti Basin Mega Recharge Project plans to use 31.13 thousand million cubic feet of water. So, of this, Maharashtra is allocated 19.36 TMC and Madhya Pradesh receives 11.76 TMC, that is 1000 million uh, cubic feet. So this equitable allocation aims to ensure that both states benefit from improved irrigation and water conservation, especially in districts like Burhanpur, Jalgaon, Akola, and Amravati. Right? So the correct answer is your option B, that is C, that is Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. Now, another one is what is the revised tariff rate the US agreed to impose on Chinese goods as per the May 2025 Geneva trade deal? So, many news we were reading about the tariff war between US and China. So, recently in May 2025, Geneva trade deal took place between US and Chinese goods. So, now what is the revised tariff rate? 145%, 100%, 30%, or 10%. So the revised rate is your 30%. In the Geneva negotiations, which held on May 11, 2025, the US agreed to reduce tariffs on Chinese goods from 145 percentage to 30%. And this significant rollback aims to de-escalate the trade tensions and is a part of 90-day trial period, which intended to facilitate the future trade talks between US and China. Right? So the correct answer is your option C, that is 30 percentage. Another question is who was appointed as the executive chairman of National Legal Services Authority, that is NALSA, in May 2025? So who has been appointed as the executive chairman? Justice Suryakant, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice B.R. Gavai, or Justice Sanjeev Khanna? And the correct answer is your option A, that is Justice Suryakant. Justice Suryakant was appointed as the executive chairman of NALSA. and he's a sitting judge of the Supreme Court and was appointed as executive chairman of NALSA by President Draupadi Murmu with effect from May 14, 2025. And he succeeded Justice B.R. Gavai, who is slated to become the 52nd CJI. That we all know, right? That Justice B.R. Gavai is the 52nd Chief Justice of India, and Justice Surya Kant's appointment was made under Clause B of subsection 2 or section 3 of the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987, which governs the structure and functioning of NALSA, India's central authority for providing free legal aid to the weaker sections. Right? Now, another one is who became the first Indian lawyer to receive the Medal of Honor from the World Jurist Association for work on child rights. Kailash Satyarthi, Indira Jaisingh, Colin Gonsalves, or Bhuvan Ribhu. So it is yes, option D, that is Bhuvan Ribhu. On May 6, 2025, Bhuvan Ribhu, a noted Indian lawyer and child rights activist, became the first Indian to receive the Medal of Honor from the World Jurist Association at the World Law Congress for his over 2 decades of work in combating child trafficking, child marriage, and abuse through legal reform. Right? I hope so. This is clear. Okay. Now, another one is what is the name of the framework which was introduced by Bhuvan Ribhu to systematically address the child rights issue? Now, what was the framework under which Bhuvan Ribhu did all his work? So, it was Picket framework, a SMART model, CARE model, or child protocol. Yes, it was option A, that is Picket framework. So, Bhuvan Ribhu introduced the Picket framework, which stands for policy, institutions, capacity building, knowledge, economics, and technology. So this is acronym PICKET for all these terms, and it is a strategic model that was used to reform the and mobilize the stakeholders in national campaigns such as Bal Vivaha Mukt Bharat, Child Marriage Free India by 2030. Okay, so remember this PICKET framework and also the full form of it. Now, what was the original mission of the Soviet spacecraft Cosmos 482 that was launched in 1972? So, what was the original mission of Soviet spacecraft? Mars exploration, moon mapping, Venus landing, or space debris removal. So, Soviet spacecraft Cosmos 482 launched in 1972, and the name of the mission was Venus landing. Okay. After reading the judgment of Supreme Court. Now, Cosmos 482 was the part of the Soviet Union's Venera program launched on March 31, 1972, and the aim was of landing a spacecraft on Venus. Okay. However, a rocket malfunction prevented it from leaving Earth's orbit, and this leaving it stranded in space for over 53 years. Cosmos 482 made its re-entry into Earth's atmosphere on May 10, 2025 around 2:24 a.m. EDT and fell west of Jakarta over the Indian Ocean. So no injuries or property damage were reported during the descent. So this is the reason that's why this project came into or this mission came into limelight. Okay, so Cosmos 482, which was part of Soviet Union's Venera program, and it was regarded Venus landing, right? Now, which judgment initially led to the introduction of the point-based system for senior advocate designations in India? Ashok Kumar Thakur versus Union of India, Indra Jaisingh versus Supreme Court of India, Keswananda Bharti versus State of Kerala, or NALSA versus Union of India. So which judgment initially led to the introduction of point-based system for senior advocate designations in India? So it is option B. That is the point-based system for designated senior advocates was introduced after 2017 judgment, that is Indra Jaisingh versus Supreme Court of India, right? And the intent was to bring transparency and uniformity in the designation process. However, the Supreme Court scrapped it on May 13, 2025, citing flaws and subjectivity in numerical assessments of professional merit. So this was regarding Indra Jaising versus Supreme Court of India case. And as per the new guidelines which have been issued by the Supreme Court on May 13, 2025, the designation of senior advocates will now be conferred by the full court of the Supreme Court or respective high courts, replacing the earlier point-based selection system. Okay, so this will be the correct answer. Another one is who was identified as the key militant eliminated in Operation Keller conducted in Shopian, Jammu and Kashmir. So, who was the key militant that was eliminated in this Operation Keller, which was conducted in Shopian, Jammu and Kashmir? Hafiz Saeed, Riaz Naiku, Shahid Kute, or Zakir Musa? And yes, C is the correct answer. Shahid Kute, the chief of the resistance front, that is TRF, a proxy group of Lashkar-e-Taiba, and it was neutralized during Operation Keller, that was on May 13, 2025, and he was believed to be the mastermind behind the recent Pahalgam terror attack that killed 26 people. So the correct answer is your option C. Now, which country gifted a luxurious Boeing 747-8 aircraft worth $400 million to President Donald Trump in May 2025? Which country gifted him? Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, or Turkey? Yes, it is option A, that is Qatar. In May 2025, Qatar's royal family gifted Boeing 747-8 aircraft to President Trump. The aircraft dubbed a palace in the sky, and it is mean to serve as a temporary Air Force One, prompting legal and ethical debate over US Constitution's emoluments clause. And critics argue that accepting a gift from a foreign state like the plane from Qatar could violate the US Constitution's emoluments clause, which prohibits federal officials from accepting gifts from foreign governments without congressional approval. So, while the White House says that the gift is to the US, legal experts remain concerned. Okay, so this is regarding US constitutional's some clauses that seems to be hampered by this gift from Qatar to President Donald Trump. And now, who is the current interim president of Syria with whom Trump is scheduled to meet following the lifting of US sanctions? Bashar al-Assad, Ahmed al-Shara, Hassan Rouhani, or Ayman al-Zawahiri? And the correct answer is option B, that is Ahmed al-Shara, which formerly known as Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, is the current interim president of Syria. So Trump announced an end to US sanctions on Syria and will meet al-Shara in Riyadh, aligning with regional goals to stabilize Syria post-Assad. Okay. Now, on what grounds did the Taliban justify banning the game of chess in Afghanistan in May 2025? Security concerns in public places, links to espionage, religious concerns over gambling, or lack of national sports funding. So, what was the ground that Taliban justified the banning of game of chess in Afghanistan? So, it is due to the Taliban's Ministry for the Propagation of Virtue and Prevention of Vice banned chess, citing haram, claiming that the game is associated with gambling, which is forbidden under Islamic law. So the Afghanistan National Chess Federation was also suspended due to this. Okay, so the correct answer would be your C, that is religious concerns over gambling. That is, it is related with gambling, and gambling is haram in Islamic law. So that's why C is the correct answer. Now, Justice B.R. Gavai, who sworn as the 52nd Chief Justice of India, hails from which Indian state? Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, or Madhya Pradesh? From which state Justice B.R. Gavai, the 52nd Chief Justice of India, has been from? Tell me the answer. Anyone knows the answer? What will be the answer of this question? It is, yes, option B, that is Amravati, Maharashtra. Justice B.R. Gavai was born on 24 November 1960 in Amravati, Maharashtra, and he is the first Buddhist and the only second Dalit to become the CJI following the Justice K.G. Balakrishnan. Okay, so he's from Maharashtra. And what is the launch vehicle being used for the EOS-09 Risat 1B satellite mission scheduled for May 18, 2025? GSLV Mk3, PSLV C55, PSLV C61, or LVM3. What is the launch vehicle that is going to be used? So it is the EOS-09 satellite, also known as Risat 1B, is scheduled to be launched using PSLV C61 from Satish Dhawan Space Center on May 18, 2025, and this is going to enhance the border surveillance and environmental monitoring. So it is your PSLV C61. And under which Indian foreign policy doctrine does the $50 million treasury bill support to Maldives fall? Under which Indian foreign policy doctrine does the $50 million treasury bill support to Maldives fall? Act East policy, neighborhood first policy, Indo-Pacific Maritime Initiative, or Look West policy? It is It is here the support which reflects India's commitment to the neighborhoods first policy and its broader regional engagement under the vision Mahasagar, right? So it is your neighborhood first policy. Now, under which facility did Bangladesh receive approximately $448 million from the IMF in May 2025? Extended Fund Facility, Extended Credit Facility, Resilience and Sustainability Facility, or Rapid Financing Instrument. Under which facility Bangladesh is receiving this much million from IMF? So it is under your option C, that is Resilience and Sustainability Facility, RSF, right? So the Bangladesh is receiving total disbursement of $1.3 billion, included two components, that is $874 million under the ECF and EFF combined, and $448 million specifically under the RSF, that is Resilience and Sustainability Facility. And this facility is aimed at long-term resilience, particularly climate and sustainability measures. So the government dissolved the National Board of Revenue and created two separate divisions under the Finance Ministry, one to manage tax policy and the other one to for tax administration. And this was done to enhance the transparency and efficiency in revenue collection. Okay. Now, when which religious text did Anita Anand place her hand on during her oath-taking ceremony as a foreign minister? The Bible, the Quran, the Constitution of Canada, or the Bhagavad Gita? So, which religious text Anita Anand used? It was the Bhagavad Gita. Anita Anand took her oath with her hand on the Bhagavad Gita, reflecting her Hindu faith and Indian cultural heritage. And the symbolic act marked a significant moment in Canadian political representation. Anita Anand entered federal politics when she was elected as the Member of Parliament in 2019 for Oakville. So this marked the beginning for her rise through several key ministerial roles leading up to her appointment as the Foreign Minister. Okay, so remember her name, that is Anita Anand. Now, what is the name of the mission jointly undertaken by ISRO and JAXA to explore the moon's south pole? LUPIX, Gaganyaan, Chandrayaan 3, or Vikram roller? And I hope so that you all know the answer of this question. Yes, it is your Chandrayaan, option A, that is your LUPIX. Now here, Chandrayaan 5 is officially referred to as the Lunar Polar Exploration Mission, that is LUPIX. This is collaborative lunar mission between India's ISRO and Japan's JAXA, specifically targeting the south pole of the moon, and the mission aims to explore permanently shadowed regions for water ice, which could be vital for human settlements and lunar resource utilization. So the Chandrayaan 5 mission is currently in its design phase and its launch is scheduled for no earlier than 2028. It follows Chandrayaan 4, which is expected to launch in 2027 and will focus on lunar sample return. So the sequence reflects India's long-term strategy for a deep space exploration and technological advancement in moon missions, right? Then we have from which district in Balochistan does Assistant Commissioner Kashish Chaudhary hails? Gwadar, Quetta, Chagai, or Turbat? So it is from your Kashish Chaudhary, the first Hindu woman assistant commissioner in Balochistan, comes from Noshki, which is a small town in located in Chagai district. So her background from a remote and underdeveloped region adds to the significance of her achievement in public service, especially a minority woman in Pakistan. So in hmm, no, this is not related with this. And one more question that under which article of the Indian Constitution did President Draupadi Murmu seek the Supreme Court's advisory opinion in May 2025? So it is Article 143 Clause 1, Article 142 Clause 1, Article 131 Clause 2, or Article 368. And the correct answer is your option A, that is Article 143 Clause 1 of the Constitution. Now, what does this article says? It empowers the President of India to seek the advisory opinion of the Supreme Court on any question of law or fact that is of public importance. Now, this provision is rarely used and signifies constitutional significance. On May 14, 2025, President Murmu invoked Article 143, Clause 1 to refer 14 constitutional questions to the Supreme Court, especially challenging the April 8, 2025 ruling that imposed a time limit for the President and governors to act on state bills. So, this is the fourth instance of such a referral in the last 50 years. On April 8, 2025, Supreme Court of India ruled that the President must take action on bills which are reserved by the governors within a period of 3 months. So this landmark decision aimed to address delays in the legislative process at the state level. However, President Murmu contested this directive, arguing that the constitution does not prescribe any time frame for granting or withholding assent, and that the judiciary cannot impose such limitation in the absence of explicit constitutional provisions. So this led her to invoke Article 143 Clause 1 for clarity from the Supreme Court. Okay, I hope so that the questions and the topics that we discussed are clear to you, and now you'll be reading about them. And with this, we here end our today's session. See you super soon in my next class. Till then, take care, everyone. Thank you so much.